This weekend maybe not ideal for a barbecue?
It may not. You may have to watch out for a couple of showers and storms that you may have to dodge out there, but we're not looking at a washout by any means, so that is some good news. But there will be a couple of favored locations moving into the upcoming weekend. I'll get into details on that in just a second, but here's a look at Taos over the last 3 hours or so, and we are looking at a very nice day across the northern mountains. But you can tell, as we normally see around this time of the day, we're starting to bubble up those clouds a little bit, and we could see a few more showers and storms developing over the northern mountains through the afternoon hours. We already have a few showers going across some of the higher terrain. We'll start off in the Gila, where we're seeing the most action, but it's spotty at best. We're not looking at widespread shower activity at all from the west central mountains down toward the northern portions of the Gila. And if you get outside of the Gila, we're looking at even sparser shower and storm activity. We had one shower just cross through the Jemez Mountains, now starting to make its way toward White Rock. We're not looking at much going on over the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. Meanwhile, over the Sacramentos, we have one or two lone storms starting to develop here as well. So we're not going to be looking at the activity that we saw yesterday, so things will be a little bit quieter, but into the upcoming weekend, that's when we'll start to see that action start to ramp back up. 80 degrees the current temperature in the metro with a variable wind at 3 miles per hour. Temperatures across the northern part of the state into the 70s for the northern mountains. As you get into some of the lower elevations, we're reaching the 80s, even into the 90s as you get into the far eastern edges of the state. 91 in Clayton, 95 in Tucumcari, into the low 90s from Roswell down to Carlsbad and over toward Hobbs as well. And once again, the eastern part of the state will be the area to watch for some of those very hot temperatures again, as you'll be the closest to that ridge of high pressure, which is still just sitting just to the east of the state. But things will start to change for the northeastern part of the state, especially tomorrow as we start to bring in a backdoor cold front. You can already see some of that wind starting to pick up across the far eastern part of the state. 28-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Tucumcari, 24 in Clovis, and 21 in Clayton. And we'll be watching for a front to pass through tomorrow. That will help enhance shower activity across the northeast. It'll also bring some gusty winds behind the front as well. Right now, we're just looking at the Gila mainly for that shower activity. We're also seeing a couple of spot showers over the other higher terrain across the state, and it's not out of the question we can't get a spot storm rolling through the Albuquerque metro area through the afternoon as we start to see some of this activity boost up. But again, we're not going to be looking at quite the activity that we saw yesterday. So just a few scattered showers and storms out there. Again, that ridge of high pressure still very close to the southeast corner of the state. That's where it'll stay mainly dry and hot once again for this afternoon. That continues into the weekend for that part of the state, but you can see we really start to boost up the shower activity across the northeastern corner of the state for tomorrow as we start to see that front come through. And then we'll also see another front by early next week. So we won't be seeing a washout any one day, but different parts of the state will be favored at different times. So we'll at least try to keep some of that moisture going across the state. Southern Colorado, temperatures into the upper 70s to low 80s this afternoon. A few scattered afternoon showers and storms, especially over the mountain locations. And we'll continue with that chance through the weekend before drying out early next week. Over the northwest, isolated showers and storms here. Highs into the 80s for most locations, low 90s over the weekend with lesser storm chances, and we'll continue with at least a spot storm chance through the early part of next week. Over the southwest, afternoon showers and storms are already going, and we'll continue to see them, especially over the Gila throughout the afternoon. We'll continue with a good chance of getting showers and storms through at least early next week across the southwestern corner of the state, as you will be in the most favorable location to get some of that moisture. Meanwhile, over the southeast, a very different story here. We're not looking at much in the way of shower and storm activity, maybe over the Sacramentos, but that is about it. Otherwise, we are going to be hot and dry. Temperatures into the triple digits once again for Roswell tomorrow before starting to cool into the mid-90s by early next week. Over the northeast, isolated showers and storms, better chances for Saturday and Sunday, and then again toward the middle of next week with a pair of cold fronts coming through. Meanwhile, over the northern mountains, afternoon showers and storms, a good possibility here for this afternoon and through the upcoming weekend before drying out early next week. East Mountains, you could pick up a couple of showers and storms through the afternoon. In the metro, we'll look for our shot of getting a couple of showers going this afternoon, but if we don't get it this afternoon, chances not looking great over the weekend, at least for the Albuquerque metro area. Perhaps getting a better chance again for early next week.
All right, thanks, John.